Hey YouTube and Dr. Voss. This is my first YouTube video, but I'm actually doing this video for a class. But I don't think I can endure the cold weather, so I'm gonna put on my jacket. Hey, I'm Akima and I'm a current nutrition science graduate student at Syracuse University, and this is my media critique presentation. So I'm doing my media critique presentation on this article I found on breastcancer.org, and the title is Eating Soy May Turn On Genes Linked to Cancer Growth. I feel like this article is really relevant to not only women with breast cancer, but also vegetarian and vegan women as well. I feel like soy is associated most commonly with plant-based consumers. I feel like people have this opinion because everything they see on the shelf, fake meat, veganese, all type of stuff out there that people see, and a lot of it is soy-based. So I'm going to read for you what the article said. This is available to consumers. Scaring the mess out of consumers. So I found this at breastcancer.org, and the title is Eating Soy May Turn on Genes Linked to Cancer Growth. Consumers can hear the word cancer associated with a certain food and go crazy and never eat a food again without actually doing their own research. So I feel like the article started out really well. It talked about how soybeans are cheap, low in calorie, and high in protein. And it mentioned some soy products, soy milk, soy protein, miso, and edamame, which are very hard to eat. They're good, but they have like that tough outer shell that nobody likes. So then the article goes into isoflavones and pretty much. So I forgot to mention that isoflavones are found in soy and soy products. These are like plant-like estrogen compounds, and these estrogen compounds are of concern because they can promote the growth and development and spread of breast cancer. And doctors are concerned that the consumption of soy and soy supplements can worsen the prognosis of a woman with breast cancer. So the article notes a research paper published back in 2014 by the Journal of National Cancer Institute, and the research paper is entitled The Effects of Soy Supplementation on Gene Expression in Breast Cancer, and this was a randomized placebo-controlled study. So the article on breastcancer.org was pretty much written in response to the research paper and the results, and also because there's so many conflicting reports about how soy affects breast cancer. So pretty much the research paper wanted to look at how soy supplements affect the breast cancer related genes and pathways. Just a quick summary of the research paper. This study consisted of 140 participants, and these were women with breast cancer. 70 of the women received the soy supplementation, which consisted of isoflavones, genistein, and daidzein, and the other 70 women received the placebo, which was simply a milk protein. Um, the study stated that both the packets for the soy and the placebo was identical, and the packets were about 25 grams of soy per packet, and participants were asked to consume 2 packets per day, and this was over a course of 14 to 15 days. Breast cancer tissues were also examined pre-treatment and post-treatment to examine for gene expression. They were also looking at a protein K167, which is also a cellular marker for cellular proliferation. They were also looking at another protein, CAS3, which is cellular apoptosis susceptibility protein, and that promotes cell death. So results did show that there were 21 genes expressed post-treatment. And the article does state the results showed several genes that encourage cell growth were turned on in women in the soy protein group. But what they didn't mention is there were also genes turned on in the placebo group. So my thing is, who's to say that these genes aren't being turned on? So I meant to say these genes are being turned on due to already, because there's already proliferated breast cancer cells present. So pretty much in the results section, they went over the various genes that were significantly expressed. For example, FANCC, which encodes for DNA repair protein. And any mutations in this gene could result in or be related to breast cancer. Another gene, UGT2A, this functions in metabolism. Gene FGFR2, which is a pro-tumor growth factor receptor, and this gene was not significant, but it was found to be increased and also overexpressed. So the overexpression of the gene makes it, I don't want to say insignificant, but there are many reasons why the gene could have been expressed anywhere from absorption, metabolism, the amount of soy. So the last set of results, which I thought were most important, focused on soy's effects on cell proliferation and apoptosis. And the results pretty much showed that there wasn't any statistically significant evidence that soy had any effect between the two groups. So my critique of the research, no, I don't feel like this research is significant. Number one, this is like the first research to look at gene expression in women with breast cancer, and then to add in the intervention of soy supplementation. I feel like this needs to be redone in healthy women with healthy breast tissue, so we can see soy and the effects of gene expression in healthy women. I also feel like this study should be done again on vegetarian and vegan women, because this population generally consumes more soy than other women. So I feel like we need to look at, does the amount of soy that a person consumes affect gene expression? This study couldn't really look at that because the study wasn't long enough. I feel as if the article on breastcancer.org did a really good job at translating the information from the original research article back to the public. Although I don't agree with the title of the article, I feel like the title should have somehow included that this study was done on women that already had breast cancer. I feel like this is most important for consumers. It's very important for us to be transparent in the information we put out there. If the title of an article is the only thing that a consumer reads, we want to make sure that we aren't providing the wrong information. Just by reading the article title on breastcancer.org or just skimming through the article, I would assume that A, because it's coming from an organization, the information must be valid, and also they're presenting research. So they have some scientific evidence to back up what they're saying. In all actuality, that's not what the article or the research paper is trying to say. Just to wrap up this presentation, I believe the results and the conclusions from the research paper, they were aligned with the original purpose of the paper, which was to examine, soy's effects on cell proliferation and apoptosis, and results did show that there was no significant evidence that showed that soy had an effect on any of these. So I think the takeaway from this would be to continue to consume soy in moderation. So there's one last thing that I forgot to add. Soy also has a plethora of health benefits. So how about you Google them, then like, subscribe, rate, and comment on my YouTube channel. Thank you for watching.